Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder if those online quizzes and games you play for science research are actually getting real answers from real people? Well, this new study has some troubling news. So imagine you are doing a psychology experiment online. You are clicking buttons, answering questions, maybe even beating a few games. You are probably thinking you are helping science move forward. But what if some of those participants aren't even human? That is the big question this paper tackles. Basically, scientists are getting worried because super smart computer programs called AI agents are getting really good at pretending to be people. And they can do this with just a few instructions, like telling a computer what to do. This paper shows it is not just possible, it is happening. Now, there was a previous idea that maybe these computer bots were already messing up some online studies. The researchers looked at how fast people responded and other patterns and thought they saw something strange. But another scientist named Chet came along and said, "Hold on, that is not enough proof. Those strange patterns might not actually be bots." And that is where this new research steps in. The authors of this paper agree with Chet that the old evidence wasn't strong enough. But they say just because they couldn't prove bots were there with that specific test doesn't mean bots aren't a real danger. And to show us just how serious this is, they decided to build their own bots and make them do online experiments. So they took 3 classic psychology tests. Think of the Strauch task where you see a word like red, but it is written in blue ink, and you have to say the color of the ink, not the word, or the Posner queuing task, which is about how our attention moves around. They used these common tests as a proving ground for their AI bots. And here is the kicker. They didn't need complex coding or super secret tools. They used something called prompting, basically, giving the AI detailed instructions and regular computer software anyone can get. They even made videos showing these bots doing the experiments. You can check them out if you are curious, but be warned, it is pretty mind-blowing. Now, let's look at what they found. In figure 1, you can see how their AI bot performed on the Strauch task, specifically focusing on how long it took to respond. They compared the bot's response times and accuracy to actual human performance from other studies. And the results are pretty concerning. The bots weren't just clumsy automatons. They were able to produce response times and accuracy rates that look a lot like real humans. It is not easy to tell the difference just by looking at the numbers. The AI was so good, it even seemed to understand the psychology behind the task, referencing studies to make its responses seem natural. This means that if you were just looking at the data from an experiment, you might think it was done by humans when it was actually done by bots. They also noted that certain types of experiments are more at risk than others. Tasks that take longer, have a lot of reading, or involve looking at static images might be easier for these AI bots to fool. On the flip side, super fast, complex tasks that require quick reactions might still be harder for bots to replicate perfectly. But they warn us not to get too comfortable because the technology is improving all the time. And finding these bots is a real challenge. As Chet pointed out, you can't just look at weird numbers and say bots. You need to compare the online data to what you'd expect from people doing the exact same experiment in a controlled lab setting. And the scary part is, as bots get better, it becomes even harder for detection methods to keep up. So, when can we expect to see more of this bot-generated data popping up? The authors suggest that given how easy it is to create these agents and how many people participate in online studies, it is very possible that bot data is already creeping into research at some level. Think about it. Someone could create a bot, offer it to others who want to cheat the system, and sell it for less than what participants usually get paid. With platforms having hundreds of thousands of participants, it is a recipe for contamination. We already know that fraud happens on these platforms, mostly with actual people faking who they are. This shows that there is an established market for this kind of deception. Now imagine adding AI to the mix, making it even more scalable and harder to spot. So to wrap this up, while the initial evidence that bots were definitely in a specific study might have been weak, this paper proves one thing: AI bots are absolutely capable of messing with online behavioral research. It is a really big deal because these online studies have become a huge part of how we understand human behavior. The hope is that through constant checking, strict identity verification, and safeguards by the platforms themselves, we can slow down or stop this misuse. But it is an ongoing battle. It is going to be like a constant game of cat and mouse. Researchers will develop ways to find bots, and then bot creators will find new ways to hide them. It is a technological arms race. So, while super fast, complex tests might be safer for now, we absolutely cannot assume that online behavioral research is completely safe from bots. The ease with which these AI agents can be created means we all need to be more critical and aware. Now, what do I think about this? This research is super important. It is a clear warning sign that as AI gets more advanced, It can have unintended and even harmful consequences in areas we thought were safe. The fact that they could build these bots so easily just with prompts and have them perform at a human-like level on cognitive tasks is frankly a bit scary. It highlights a really significant vulnerability in how we collect data for understanding human minds. The biggest strength here is their demonstration. They didn't just talk about the problem, they showed us how it could be done. This makes the threat very real and very tangible. It forces us to confront a problem that might have seemed like science fiction a year or two ago. One limitation, as they themselves acknowledge, is that while they've shown it is possible to create these convincing bots, it doesn't mean it is widespread yet in all studies, especially the faster-paced ones. But the paper wisely warns against complacency. They also didn't share the exact prompts they used, which is understandable to prevent misuse. But it means other researchers can't immediately replicate their creation process to test further. What does this mean for us? Well, if you participate in online studies, just be aware that the data collected might not always be from humans. And for researchers, this paper is a wake-up call. We need better tools and more rigorous methods for verifying participants and data integrity. It is not just about preventing fraud for economic reasons, but about ensuring the scientific findings we rely on are actually based on genuine human behavior. Future research will likely focus on developing even more sophisticated detection methods, and on understanding what specific characteristics of human responses are truly unique and difficult for AI to mimic. We might also see a shift towards more in-person studies or hybrid approaches that combine online and lab-based data collection. So, what do you guys think about this? Are you surprised by how easy it is to create these AI bots? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science explained simply, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. Thanks for watching and stay curious.